Well, it's great. Welcome back to this session. Here, again, we are going to look at how we can create a table figure or tables in our Microsoft Word documents. For example, this can be when you're working on reports. It is not so much hectic, just almost similar to how we created our table of content in the previous video. So here we're just going to take a few steps and we shall find ourselves with our table of figures or table of content in our documents. So the first thing you have to do is you need to get into your work documents. Take for example, as that one is opening. Then you need to also allocate a free page whereby you'll insert your table of figures and tables. So let's allocate here a free space. Let me allocate a free space here. Take for example here. Yes, we can allocate it here. So here what you have to do is you need to first identify the tables you have in your work. You need to also identify the figures that you have in your work. The figures, take for example, can be pie charts, can be bar graph, can be line graph. All those are what we are meaning as figures. Then the tables, these are tables containing data or informations that have been represented in a tabular form in your work documents. So here you need to identify your figures which you have in your work document and you give them what we call a caption. So let's see how we can do about this. Let's first identify, although this work here doesn't have a figure, but the same procedure you do to create the table of figures is the same way you do to create the table of tables. It's just the same procedures. So since this work has only the figures, the tables, let's identify one table and see how to go about this. So this is the first table here. So what you have to do, you need to highlight this table. Okay, you highlight the table. After highlighting, you right click. Okay, after right clicking, you will find a number of options. Look for where there is insert caption. Yeah, as we said, we need to insert caption. So this is how you come to this thing of insert caption. So after, it will ask you, is it a table you want to make or is it a figure? If it is a figure, you put a figure. But since this is a table, we shall select a table. I told you it is the same way whether you are creating for a table or whether you are creating for a figure. So since we are dealing with a table, so we have to select a table. Higher. Do we need this table to be above? Do we need this label to be above the table or below the table? So let's say we want it to be below our table. Okay, so that one is done, below our table. So we need to also label this table is for what. So like take for example, this table is for vaccine temperature recording for July. Okay, we put it like that because the same way you put there, it's the same way to reflect on your table labeling. So when we are done with that, we shall say okay. Yeah, so as seen, you have seen there, it is already below our table. So as simple as that, you go and look for another table which is in your document, or figure which is in your work document. You do the same thing. So let's look for another table that might be existing here. Let's look for another table that could be existing here. Let's look for it. There's some table down here. Let's look for it. There's another table here. Yes, there's another table here. So the same way, the same procedure you did the other side, you will have to highlight, you highlight your work, the whole table. After highlighting the whole table, you will have to right click. After right clicking, you need to insert caption. It is still a table. If it is a figure, you need to select it is a figure. I told you the same procedure to create the table of figure or the table of table. It is the same procedure you have to follow. So since this is the table 2, and the table 2, how are we going to name it? The table 2, let's say, is the budget. Okay, let's say it is, because it looks like a budget table for budgets. Budget, let's say monthly budget. Monthly budget. Okay, so this is the table showing the monthly budget for what has been spent. So here we want it to be below or above this table. Let's say we want it to be below. Then you say okay also. Okay, we must be able to see it here, monthly budget. So now what you have to do after creating all this, the same procedure, inserting captions on these tables, in these figures, you now go to reference. Reference, after going to reference, you say insert table of figures. Okay, so after pressing there, you will see a number of you will see these things here. So this is showing you just how your table will present. Okay, will present up there. So this is the format. So you can even say you need some arrows to show the pages, like this one. If you don't want, you can remove also. But let's be somehow unique. We make there are some arrows for positioning as the pages. Then there are also options here. The format, the general format, asking you want it to be classic, distinctive, centered, formal, or simple. But let's select the from templates. Okay, yeah. So when you're done doing that, you just have to now come and say okay. Yeah, so as you have seen now our table of figures automatically. It has jumped there. You see table 1 on page 8, table 2 on page 21. As simple like that. So it is the same way you can create for tables or for figures. It's the same procedure, as simple as you have seen. So thank you so much for being attentive. So thank you so much for your time. But I don't want to forget to tell you that to subscribe and press the link button so that you don't miss the next videos. Thank you so much.